Chuka never planned on meeting her. He wasn't looking for company that night. Just a few drinks, maybe some music. But fate had other plans. She sat at the far end of the bar, legs crossed, swirling a glass of red wine between her fingers. She had that look, a woman who knew exactly what she was doing. Chuka ordered a drink, stealing glances at her. She caught him, smirked, then raised her glass. "Are you always this quiet?" she teased. "Or is it just the bad music?" He chuckled, lifting his own glass. "I'm Chuka." She leaned in, resting her chin on her palm. "Sonia." The name rolled off her tongue like honey. The drinks kept coming. The conversation flowed effortlessly. They talked about everything except their real lives. But that didn't matter. They both knew what this was. By the time they left the bar, the deal was unspoken, but understood. They barely made it through the door before their hands were all over each other. Clothes hit the floor. Their bodies collided with urgency. The night stretched on, a storm of tango sheets, sweat, and gasps that echoed off the walls. One round, another, then another. It was exhausting, intoxicating, addictive. And when it was finally over, they collapsed beside each other, drunk, spent, and breathless. Sometime in the night, Chuka woke up. The air felt different, heavy, wrong. His skin prickled with goosebumps. The room was silent, too silent. He turned his head towards Sonia. She lay perfectly still, her back to him. A strange cold sensation crawled up his spine. It was as if they were not alone. He held his breath, listening. The silence seemed to have a weight of its own, pressing against his ears. Then, a whisper. It was distant, unintelligible, like voices from another world. Chuka squeezed his eyes shut, telling himself it was just the alcohol messing with his head. It had to be. Forcing himself to ignore it, he pulled the blankets over his body and drifted back into uneasy sleep. The first thing he noticed when he woke up was the cold. The room was freezing. The morning sun spilled through the curtains, but it did nothing to warm his skin. He turned to wake Sonia. "Sonia, wake up." Nothing. She was lying exactly as he had left her. Too still, something twisted in his stomach. He reached out, shaking her shoulder. "Sonia." Then he felt it. Cold, stiff, lifeless. A wave of pure terror crashed over him as he rolled her onto her back. Her eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. Her lips slightly parted, frozen in an expression of eerie silence. Her skin pale and clammy. Chuka stumbled backward, knocking over a chair. His heart pounded against his ribs. No. He pressed 2 fingers to her neck. No pulse. She was dead. His breath came in short, panicked gasps. His hands trembled as he grabbed his phone. He had to call someone. The police, a doctor, a friend. But then he stopped. Who would believe him? A young man, no known job, expensive lifestyle, a dead woman in his bed. They would say he used her for rituals. They would call him a killer. His mind raced. He needed time to think. He couldn't let anyone know. So he did the only thing he could. He locked the door. He didn't go out, not once. His phone rang, friends checking in. "Guy, you dey ghost us today?" He swallowed hard. "Just resting. Rough night." His voice sounded off. His friends noticed. "You sure you dey okay?" "Yeah, I am fine." Lies. His neighbors noticed too. Chuka never stayed indoors all day. By evening, they came knocking. "Chuka, you dey alright?" His chest tightened. He couldn't let them in, so he forced himself outside, shutting the door behind him. He faked a smile. "I'm good. Just needed some space today." They eyed him, suspicious. "You sure?" He nodded. "I swear." They hesitated, then nodded back. "Okay, just checking." Chuka turned, stepping back inside. The moment he locked the door, he exhaled in relief. Then, sirens, loud, close, too close. His blood ran cold. Then came the chaos, voices screaming, footsteps pounding against the ground, people running everywhere. The sirens grew louder, flashing lights bouncing through his window. Then, boom! a loud, thunderous knock on his door. Not a normal knock. Someone was trying to break it down. His breath caught in his throat. His nightmare wasn't over. It was just beginning.